Hello everyone, welcome back to Nomo Studio. So in this video ay magkakaroon po tayo ng 15 item questions sa Article 5 and Article 6 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. So tara, simulan na po natin. Ganito na lang po yung gagawin ko, magbibigay na lang ako ng short explanation for the Article 5 or yung suffrage of the 1987 Philippine Constitution since maikli lang naman po yon. Tapos, magbibigay na po ako ng 15 item questions for the Article 6 or the Legislative Department. So, kumbaga po yung suffrage or yung pagboto ay isang mahalagang karapatan nating mga mamamayang Pilipino. Ito po kasi ay nakasaad sa ating Constitution na dapat magbibigay ito ng kapangyarihan sa atin bilang isang Pilipino na pumili ng ating magiging pinuno na siyang maglilingkod para sa bayan. At pakatandaan po ninyo na ang karapatang pagboto ay ibinibigay sa mga mamamayan na may edad na 18 taong gulang pataas, maliban na lamang kung mayroong mga espesyal na batas na nagtatakda ng ibang edad sa pagboto, kagaya nung sa mga SK elections, di ba? So, 15 years old pwede nang bumoto. So again, depende kung may itinakda ang batas na para sa espesyal na pagboto. And of course, kinakailangan din po na tayo ay rehistrado sa Commission on Elections for us to be qualified to vote during elections. Kasi po ang halalan sa Pilipinas, yun nga isinasagawa upang tayo ay makapagpili ng magiging pinuno or opisyalis ng ating pamahalaan, tulad ng presidente, vice-presidente, mga miyembro ng Kongreso, at iba pa. At tandaan nyo din po na yung isang regular or national election ay isinasagawa every second Monday of May. So kinakailangan po na mabigyan natin ng kahalagahan yung pagboto. Kasi nga yung 1987 Philippine Constitution, naglalayong mapanatili ang demokrasya dito sa ating bansa at magbibigay ng pantay na karapatan sa lahat ng mamamayan. Yung kumbaga yung makilahok tayo sa proseso ng pagboto. Ito kasi po ay isang mahalagang mechanism upang maipahayag natin ang ating mga saloobin, pumili ng ating magiging pinuno, or yung paniniwalaan natin, yung magkakaroon ng boses sa pamamahala ng ating bansa. And yun nga no, under the 1987 Philippine Constitution, lahat ng Filipino citizens who are at least 18 years old and have resided here in the Philippines for at least 1 year and in the locality where they intend to vote for at least 6 months are eligible to exercise their right to vote. So kumbaga kinakailangan na nakatira ka sa inyong barangay or sa inyong locality for at least 6 months at dapat nakatira ka dito sa Pilipinas for at least 1 year for you to be qualified to vote during elections. And additionally, wala pong nire-require na educational attainment or economic status for you to vote. Mayaman, mahirap, literate, or illiterate, you have the right to vote. Because this article aims to promote inclusivity, equality, and active citizen participation in the democratic process. So, I hope that makes sense. And now let's proceed with these 15 item questions for the Article 6 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. So, let's start with question number 1. How many houses does the Philippine Congress consist of? A1, B2, C3, or letter D4? Feel free to pause the video and try to answer this question. Ang tamang sagot po is letter B, 2. We have 2 houses. Ito yung tinatawag natin na upper and lower house. Yung upper house is yung Senate at yung lower house naman is yung House of Representatives or also known as the bicameral legislature. Kumbaga, bi means 2, di ba? So, 2 houses. Bicameral legislature. Sa isang bicameral system po kasi, the legislative power is divided between 2 distinct chambers. Kumbaga, may kanya-kanya kasing set of functions and responsibilities for each of the houses. Iba yung responsibility ni Senate, iba din yun kay House of Representatives, but their specific titles may vary depending on the country or political system. Pero dito po sa Pilipinas, the main purpose of having a bicameral legislature is to provide a system of checks and balances within the legislative branch. So kumbaga po yung dalawang chambers na ito, sila yung nag-i-ensure na yung kinakraft nilang batas mismo or yung mga policies are thoroughly debated, reviewed, and scrutinized before it will become effective and enacted. Okay, so now let's proceed with question number 2. How many members are there in the Philippine Senate? Ang tamang sagot po is letter C, 24. So the Philippine Senate consists of 24 members at ang bawat senador po ay dapat na makapagserbisyo for a term of 6 years. So this means that once elected, a senator will hold office for 6 consecutive years before facing re-election. At ang term po ng isang senator is much longer compared to the 3-year term of members of the House of Representatives. Yung House of Representatives po kasi is composed of tinatawag natin na mga congressmen or mga congresswomen who are elected by the Filipino electorate. And the number of representatives is based, nakabase sila sa population of each legislative district with a minimum of 1 representative per district. And the House of Representatives has a maximum of 250 members. At ang number po na ito can be adjusted by law but is fixed, maximum na talaga yung 250 members unless otherwise provided by the Constitution. But as of the moment, meron po tayong 315 House members sa 19th Congress. So much for that, and now let's proceed with question number 3. Who has the power to initiate revenue bills in the Philippines? Choose the letter that corresponds to your answer and feel free to pause the video. House of Representatives. Yung House of Representatives po kasi sila lamang po ang may power na mag-initiate ng mga revenue bills dito sa Pilipinas. Ibig sabihin lamang po nito na yung mga bills related to taxation and government revenue must originate in the House of Representatives. Kasi po kung babasahin natin ang Article 6, Section 24, all appropriation, revenue or tariff bills, bills authorizing increase of the public debt, bills of local application, and private bills shall originate exclusively in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments. So ang ibig sabihin po nito na yung mga proposals of laws that involve government spending, taxation, tariffs, or public debt must originate in the House of Representatives. Pero yung Senate, meron naman silang authority to propose or suggest amendments to these bills, but they cannot initiate them. In short, ang House of Representatives lamang po ang may primary responsibility for drafting and introducing legislation na related sa mga government finances and revenue. I hope that makes sense, and now let's proceed with question number 4. What is the minimum age requirement to become a member of the Philippine Senate? Choose the letter that corresponds to your answer. Ang tamang sagot po is letter D, 35 years old, as per Section 3 of the Article 6 in the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Okay, so next question number 5. Ano naman po ang minimum age requirement to become a member of the House of Representatives? Ang tamang sagot po is letter B, 25 years old, as per Section 6 of the Article 6 in the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Kung babasahin din po natin dito, able to read and write lang, pwede ka nang tumakbo bilang isang member of the House of Representatives. So kinakailangan na pong baguhin yung Constitution kasi hindi na siya napapanahon. Ang hirap naman po kung tatakbo ka bilang isang mambabatas or gumagawa ng mga batas tapos wala ka palang alam sa mga batas. So now let's proceed with question number 6. What is the primary function of the Legislative Department in the Philippines? A. Enforce laws, B. Interpret laws, C. Make laws, or letter D. Implement laws. Ang tamang sagot po is letter C, make laws. Ito po yung primary function ng Legislative Department dito sa ating bansa. yung Senate at saka the member of the House of Representatives, sila yung nagpo-propose, nagdi-debate at nagpapasa ng mga bills na siyang magiging batas upon approval by the President. From the word itself, legislate, meaning to make or enact laws. So, ayun o, kinakailangan po talaga maghalal tayo ng mga senador at mga congressmen and congresswomen na gagawa ng mga batas para sa kapakanan ng nakararami, hindi para sa pansarili nilang kapakanan. So, next we have question number 7. Who is the presiding officer of the House of Representatives? Feel free to pause the video and try to answer the question. The correct answer is letter A, the Speaker of the House. So sila po yung nagpipreside, ano? The Speaker is elected by the members of the House and is responsible for maintaining order during sessions. Sila po yung nagre-recognize ng mga members who wish to speak and representing the House in its relations with the President and the Senate. At yung Speaker of the House is elected by a majority vote of all the members of the House. Ibig sabihin po niyan, to become a Speaker, an individual must receive the support of more than half, no? More than half of the total number of representatives. And the members who vote for the winning Speaker candidate constitute the majority. At yung mga bumoto naman for the opposing candidate form the minority. Kaya may tinatawag tayong majority leader, minority leader. Ngayon, ano naman po ang kaibahan ng tinatawag na majority leader and minority leader? Yung mga majority leader po, sila yung responsible for managing and coordinating the legislative agenda of the majority party. Isa rin po sa primary function ng isang majority leader, aside from being the spokesman of the majority party, siya rin po ang responsible in directing the deliberations on the floor. So siya rin po yung concurrently the chairman of the Committee on Rules. So lahat po ng mga matters relevant to the rules of the House, specifically the calendar of bills, preparation of order of business, and calendar of business are within his responsibilities. At sa kasalukuyan din po yung minority leader natin of the 19th Congress is si Honorable Marcelino Libanan. He is the spokesman of the minority party in the House. Pero hindi po ito nangangahulugan na siya rin po yung leader of the party. Kasi po yung minority party in the House may be composed of one or more political groupings. And by the way, sino nga pala yung ating House Speaker for the 19th Congress? Yes, si Honorable Ferdinand Martin Romualdez. Okay, so now let's proceed with question number 8. What is the purpose of the electoral tribunals established for the Senate and the House of Representatives in the Philippines? Choose the letter that corresponds to your answer. And the correct answer is letter B, to serve as the sole judge for all contests regarding the election, returns, and qualifications of their respective members. This is in accordance with Section 17 of the Article 6 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Ganito po kasi ang nakasaad. So yung electoral tribunals are created to serve as the sole judge for all contests related to the election, returns, and qualifications of the members of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Kasama na rito yung mga disputes or challenges regarding the validity of elections, the results of the voting, and the eligibility of individuals to hold office. And dagdag pa rito, each electoral tribunal consists of 9 members. 3 of these members are justices of the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the Philippines. Ang isa rin po sa kadahilanan kung bakit naglagay sila ng mga justices from the Supreme Court para ito ay makadagdag as a legal and judicial perspective to the resolution of election-related matters. While the remaining 6 members are chosen from the Senate or the House of Representatives, depending on which electoral tribunal is in question. At itong 6 na members na ito of the electoral tribunals from the legislature are properly selected on the basis of proportional representation from political parties and party list organizations. At ang mga desisyon or rulings na ginawa ng mga electoral tribunal members are final and executory, meaning hindi na po pwedeng iapila. So, ganito na lang po, magbibigay ako ng example para mas maunawaan talaga natin. Sabihin natin in a recent national election, itong si candidate A, nanalo siya, no? Nanalo siya in the House of Representatives, representing a legislative district. However, itong si candidate B, natalo siya sa isang eleksyon, pero nag-decide siya to contest the results by filing a case with the Electoral Tribunal of the House of Representatives. May nakita po kasi itong si candidate B na irregularities in the election process, like yung mga voter intimidation, ballot tampering, or other forms of electoral misconduct. So ngayon, dito na papasok yung mga electoral tribunal members, which is composed of both Supreme Court justices and members from the House of Representatives. Magkakandak na sila ngayon ng hearings and gather evidences to assess the validity na kiniklaim ni candidate B kung may nakita nga ba talaga siyang irregularities in the election process. Baka naman pa lang tong si candidate B. Magfa-file siya kunyari ng case at sabihin niya may nakita siyang irregularities, baka sakaling manalo pa siya. So yon pero joke lang. So now let's proceed with question number 9. According to the provision, how are the records and books of accounts of the Congress in the Philippines handled? Feel free to pause the video and try to answer the question. As per Section 20 of the same article, nakasaad po dito na yung mga records and books of accounts of the Congress in the Philippines are to be preserved and open to the public in accordance with the law. So this is for the purpose of transparency and accountability na rin po sa legislative process. The Commission on Audit or COA, which is an independent constitutional body, magkakandak siya ngayon ng audit sa mga financial records ng ating Congress. Then the COA is now responsible for examining the legality and regularity of the financial transactions and ensuring compliance with the applicable laws and regulations. Now, once the audit is completed, the Commission on Audit or COA, sila na rin po yung magpapublish mismo ng annual report na kung saan naka-itemize doon yung mga list of amounts paid and mga expenses incurred for each member of Congress. So next, we have question number 10. According to the Constitution, what is the requirement for passing a law that increases the appellate jurisdiction of the Supreme Court? A majority vote in the legislative branch. B. Approval by the President. C. Advice and concurrence of the Supreme Court. Or letter D. Public referendum. So, as per Section 30 of the same article, nakasaad po dito na no law shall be passed increasing the appellate jurisdiction of the Supreme Court as provided in this Constitution without its advice and concurrence. Kapag sinabi po nating appellate jurisdiction, tumutukoy po ito sa isang authority of a court to hear appeals from lower courts. Ang nais lamang po kasi ng ating Constitution, walang batas dapat na maipasa na magpapalawak ng appellate jurisdiction ng ating Supreme Court. So kumbaga, kinakailangan muna ang advice and concurrence. So ibig sabihin nito, any proposal or law seeking to expand the Supreme Court's appellate jurisdiction ay dapat magkakaroon muna ng approval and agreement of the Supreme Court itself. Ang purpose po kasi nito is magkaroon ng collaborative approach between the legislative and judicial branches of government. So kumbaga, hindi pwedeng magpasa ng isang batas na magpapalawak sa appellate jurisdiction ng Supreme Court kung walang abiso or approval and agreement from the Supreme Court itself. Kahit na si Supreme Court ang makakabenepisyo sa batas na yon, di ba? So kung napapansin nyo po, di ba si Congress ang gumagawa ng mga batas, no? Si Senate and House of Representatives are the lawmaking body. Now, itong si Congress or si Senator and House of Representatives, hindi sila pwedeng gumawa ng batas na magpapalawak sa appellate jurisdiction ng Supreme Court kung hindi sila kukuha ng abiso, approval, and agreement from the Supreme Court itself. So dyan pa lang makikita na natin yung principle of checks and balances within a constitutional system. So kumbaga, it involves the Supreme Court in the decision-making process para ma-prevent natin yung potential abuses of power. And for items 11 to 15, these are the questions. Feel free to comment your answers below. Okay, are you done answering? Ilalagay ko na lang po yung answer key and explanation sa ating official Facebook page. And that's all for this video, and I hope you've learned something new today. At kung bago ka pa lang po sa ating channel, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe, like, and share this video to your friends. By the way, kung hindi nyo pa po na-install yung ating mobile application, search nyo lang po sa Google Play Store, Nomo app. See you next time. Bye for now.